we have already discussed in our last class about the 5-year plans, India's first 5-year plan was started in 1951 and it was started under the guideline of Professor P.C. Mahalanobis. Now the next thing is, who is the head of the planning commission or who is the chairperson of the planning commission? One question we forgot to discuss in the last class. Head or the chairperson of planning commission is Prime Minister. Head or chairperson of the planning commission is the Prime Minister. Now the next heading is, first thing, why there was need for 5-year plans in India. As we have already know, India got independence in 1947. India got independence in 1947 and we inherited means हमें ब्रिटिशर्स से जो इकोनॉमी मिली थी वो बैकवर्ड और स्टैग्नेंट इकोनॉमी थी. कौन सी इकोनॉमी थी? बैकवर्ड और स्टैग्नेंट इकोनॉमी. व्हाट डज इट मींस बैकवर्ड और स्टैग्नेंट इकोनॉमी? मींस हमारी इकोनॉमी के पास प्रॉपर यूजर्स या प्रॉपर रिसोर्सेस नहीं थे बिकॉज ब्रिटिशर्स हमारी इकोनॉमी को स्टैग्नेंट इकोनॉमी बना के थे. स्टैग्नेंट मींस बैकवर्ड इकोनॉमी. नाउ द नेक्स्ट थिंग इज it can be classified into two parts. One is long term plans, one is short term plans. Long term plan means common objective. Long term plan means common objective for every 5-year plan. And what does short term plan means? Short term plan means the plans formulated for achievement of short term or long term goals. Plans formulated for achievement of long term goals. Now the next heading is, come to the point, long period goals. First long term goal is GDP growth. GDP growth means increase in the flow of goods and services. GDP growth means increase in the flow of goods and services. It can be done by two ways. One is fuller utilization of resources. The second thing is increase in the resources. GDP growth means increase in the resources or increase in the flow of goods and services in an economy. Second main motto of long term plan is, or long term goal is, full employment. Full employment means the people who are able and willing to work. People who are able and willing to work will get work. It means that proper utilization of resources was there. Next long term goal is equitable distribution or equity. It means no skewed distribution was there. Equal treatment should be there to the rich section and to the poor section of the society. Modernization means modern approach should be followed. Modern approach for the production of goods and modern approach in the mentality also. Self-sufficiency. Self-sufficiency means produce the goods in the home country itself. Self-sufficiency means produce the home goods in the home country itself. Now recall the points. Long-term period goals. First is GDP growth. Second is full employment. Third is equitable distribution or equity. Next is modernization. Next is self-sufficiency. Again, GDP growth, full employment, equitable distribution or equity, modernization, self-sufficiency. These were the long-term goals. Short-term goals, you have one flowchart or one diagram in your book. You will have to read it from that side only. Features of economic policy pursued till 1991. What does it mean, features of economic policy pursued till 1991? It means that from the startup of the planning commission, till 1991. It means the time duration in between 1951 to 1991. First is heavy reliance on public sector. Our economy was totally dependent on the government sector as our economy is mixed economy. हमारी economy कौन सी थी? Mixed economy थी, but it totally dependent किसके ऊपर थी? Public sector के ऊपर. Public sector means government के ऊपर dependent थी. Regulated development of private sector. It means rules and regulations were there. For the private sector. Rules and regulations were there for the production capacity and for the establishment of new industry also. Next is protection of small scale industries. Means small scale industry should be encouraged and large scale industry should be regulated. Regulated means rules and regulations बनाए जाते थे. Development of heavy industries of strategic significance. वो industries बनाई गई जिनकी hard and fast requirement थी. Next is focus on savings and investment. First heading we have already done, that is long term goals. Long term goal means the common goals for the 5-year plans. Next heading is short term goals. Short term goals means goals or the plans that we formulate for the achievement of long term goals. These were the features of the economic policy pursued till 1991. Next heading is success. Next heading is failure. Success of planning. It means that is planning commission का क्या क्या फायदा हुआ. फर्स्ट इज इंक्रीज इन नेशनल इनकम, ओवरऑल इकोनॉमी की इनकम राइज होगी। कैसे राइज हुई? बिकॉज जीडीपी ग्रोथ की वजह से, जीडीपी ग्रोथ की वजह से फ्लो ऑफ गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज बढ़ा और उसकी वजह से नेशनल इनकम राइज हो गई। इंक्रीज इन पर कैपिटा इनकम, पर कैपिटा इनकम मींस पर पर्सन अवेलेबिलिटी, दैट कैन बी कैलकुलेटेड एज टोटल इनकम upon population size, that can be termed as total income upon population size. Rise in savings and investment, as we have already discussed. Institutional and technical change in the agriculture, this we are going to discuss in our next chapter. Growth and diversification of industry means industries को diversify किया गया. Economic infrastructure, इतनी सारी planning commissions बनाई और इतने plans हो गए, but still ये planning commission की problems थी। क्या problems थी? Abject poverty, क्या था? Abject poverty means the rising poverty. हमारा मेन एम था पॉवर्टी को फिनिश किया जा सके, बट पॉवर्टी को फिनिश नहीं कर सके बिकॉज हमारी पॉपुलेशन एक वास्ट थी और उतना अवेलेबिलिटी ऑफ गुड्स नहीं था। हाई रेट ऑफ इन्फ्लेशन, इन्फ्लेशन मींस राइज इन द प्राइसेस, इन्फ्लेशन मींस राइज इन द प्राइसेस, प्राइसेस इंक्रीज होते जा रहे थे। अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट क्राइसिस मींस जितने लोग काम करने वाले थे उनको प्रॉपरली काम नहीं मिलता था, दिस वाज द मेन प्रॉब्लम। Inadequate infrastructure, proper facilities नहीं थी और skewed distribution था। Skewed distribution means unequal distribution was there. This was the completion of our second chapter and this is the last point. Have a screenshot of this to read out these headings and prepare flowchart as we have already informed you about this. Thank you.